Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is an article from the Prabhupada disciple Pita Das. Srila Prabhupada introduced / coined the term Ritvik. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances at the feet of all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord who are just like desire trees fulfilling the desires of everyone. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The fact of the matter was, Srila Prabhupada made himself very clear on how new devotees coming into his movement were to be accepted into it after his disappearance. The word Ritvik was first heard by me from Srila Prabhupada's lotus mouth, and His Divine Grace used the term many times during his last 2 weeks in Vrindavan. I remember this clearly because I didn't know what a Ritvik was. Srila Prabhupada called this Ritvik Acharya transparent to the previous Acharya. This is the position His Divine Grace bestowed upon His 11 disciples who He said gave up the most to serve Him establishing ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada spoke many times about how these devotees should carry on the movement after His departure. Many times I was to hear Him say, "Is that clear? Do you understand?" Yes, Srila Prabhupada, it's all clear, Tamar Krishna Goswami would say, no questions. Srila Prabhupada, you have made everything clear. All of this was recorded and heard by many devotees at the time. Now, what has happened to all these tapes, to all these tape recordings, was the responsibility of Srila Prabhupada's secretary at the time. I saw a great amount of tapes from that period in his tape ministry, 1978. This is a fact, and he knows this well, regardless of what he may say now. After Srila Prabhupada's Mahasamadhi, these 11 and others were very swift to establish their new Ritvik Acharya transparent to the previous Acharya's position with no regard or respect for the feelings of their god brothers. But when they weren't calling themselves as Ritvik Acharyas but gurus, they weren't calling themselves as Ritvik Acharyas but gurus with big Vyasa-san, 6 months after Srila Prabhupada's Mahasamadhi. Bhagavan was having his feet washed in milk with some of his god brothers saying, "We are recording every word he says. We aren't going to make a mistake with him like we did with Srila Prabhupada." Bhagavan asked me in April of 1978, "How do you like the temples I have inherited?" when I was sent to Southern Europe to collect for India BBT library party. What they did and are still doing now for the last almost 22 years was to place themselves in a position incapable for themselves to maintain. We cannot jump over Srila Prabhupada's head. In China, this is called crossing the bridge and burning it. On one morning walk with devotees along a beach, Bhavananda Prabhu used to tell the story that they were all walking with Srila Prabhupada and they came to a log thrown across the path. So Bhavananda extended his arm to assist Srila Prabhupada in crossing. As soon as Srila Prabhupada crossed it safely, he took Bhavananda's hand and threw it down with anger. And Bhavananda, of course, was very upset and uncertain what he had done to make Srila Prabhupada so angry with him. Then Srila Prabhupada looked at him and said, "This is the mood of the Mayavadi. I use the Guru until I cross and then I kick him away." Has this not happened in ISKCON? Disembodied entities, blasphemous statements directly stated towards His Divine Grace. About 3 to 4 days before His Divine Grace departure, when many of the devotees were in Srila Prabhupada's room, Srila Prabhupada told us, of my disciples, I see no one who has my qualities, but if I look at this or that one, I see some percentage of my qualities there. So I have some faith that this movement can go on. The test of your love for me will be shown at how well you work together. The last part of this statement became almost a slogan in ISKCON after Srila Prabhupada's departure. The first part I have only heard from Srila Prabhupada's lotus mouth. Where did this idea of Ritvik come from, Prabhujis? From Srila Prabhupada and only from His Divine Grace, because this order was misunderstood and thousands of devotees are now seeing themselves as the disciples of our God brothers. It isn't that it wasn't correct. Achintya Beda Tattva simultaneously, one and different. Yes, they are Ritvik gurus and they are transparent to the previous acharyas. They are directing the current of spiritual electricity, Guru Parampara. The problem has been, though, that we have imitated Srila Prabhupada without having his divine grace's qualities. Once one creates something, he is no longer transparent and the electricity will not flow. It is broken. Thus no Guru Parampara connection. So it has been going on now for so long, this imitation. We all have heard devotees even trying to imitate Srila Prabhupada's voice, his divine grace way of speaking, and like a transvestite, we all know it's a fake. The transvestite knows clearly of all, so it simply needs to be corrected. All the new devotees should wait and not hurry for Diksha from anyone for at least a year or more. Let us all pray to Srila Prabhupada for guidance. More tapes may be discovered, more confessions may unfold. Only when the truth returns can we trust each other again. Frankly speaking, I can only trust a handful of my God brothers, but I love them all dearly because I have seen them sincerely serve Srila Prabhupada. They acted as Ritvik to me and they helped me understand Srila Prabhupada. They brought before Srila Prabhupada. Rabindranath Swarup gave me the flower and taught me to offer it to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. He is my Guru Bhai, my first attendance of Guru Puja. Offer this flower and bow down, he told me. Tamal Krishna Goswami taught me how to cook for Srila Prabhupada. Deity form, in brackets. He is my Guru Bhai. This sabji is too salty. This one is too dry. It needs to be more like ... I know all the tastes, he would say. Vishnu John Swami got me to join Srila Prabhupada's movement. He is my Guru Bhai. Radha Krishna in life and death. I have nothing but you. Tejas Prabhu showed me how to give up everything to serve Srila Prabhupada. He is my Guru Bhai. Tejas, there's no food in the temple. Gaur Govinda Maharaj is eating gourd vines and soaked tapioca. Don't bother me with your material considerations. I'm busy, and he really was. Kavichandra Swami took care of me and helped me to get to Vrindavan to be with Srila Prabhupada. He is my Guru Bhai. Surabhi Prabhu showed me how one can use all of their talents in serving Srila Prabhupada with every last ounce of his strength. He is my Guru Bhai. Guru Kripa shows me even now how Srila Prabhupada is always with him. He is my Guru Bhai. Narahari gave me my first service among the pots and pans of Miami. He is my Guru Bhai. Patit Udaran Prabhu taught me how to survive in India. He is my Guru Bhai. Vatanga Prabhu shows me what a real devotee should be like. He is my Guru Bhai. It is now time for us all to lighten up, but be grave at what the future of our movement is. This movement is being directed by Lord Chaitanya himself. But are we listening to him? If we listen, the path will be made so clear and we can easily walk. As Srila Prabhupada would often say, the dogs may bark, but the caravan will pass. So now, here's my personal comment. Nobody should take initiation from these false ISKCON gurus. You can take shelter of Prabhupada via the officiating acharya, the representative of who's doing the initiation on Prabhupada's behalf, Just like a priest when you get married. When you get married to your wife, then the priest performs the ritual, and then your relationship with this priest is over, The priest is not, living in your house after you get married. So, in the same way, this Ritvik Acharya system was also working in ISKCON for so many years. And even now the cheating is going on, This is from 1998, now we're 24 years later, and they still continue. Like the prostitutes visiting Diksha Guru of ISKCON, Prabhupada Vishnu Swami, they continue their cheating without any remorse. And it will go on, until all the proper disciples are dead, this cheating will go on. So at least the smart people, they should see through the cheating and take shelter of Prabhupada directly. Hare Krishna.